Newswatch continues.
At your Northwest Dodge dealer today.
No, not the chicken!
This is their latest bandwagon. They want very
Right to Life stand is that making RU-486 available will lead to more abortions and trivialize the procedure. Pro-choice advocates say that probably won't be the case.
Easier. I think what it's going to do is depoliticize it, and I think that's what they're going to be worried about. Not that it's going to become easier for women, but that it's going to become not the issue of the decade anymore.
Testing is slated to begin across the state within the next few months. In Eugene, Catherine Stevens reporting for Newswatch.
New 94 Holiday Rambler, $52,995 or just $449 a month. Plus, register at Romania to win a new camping trailer, a new Class A motorhome, or a 1920 Model T truck. National RV Open House Month right now at Romania's RV Center.
Preparations are being made to begin testing the abortion drug RU-486 in Oregon, a move that's added a new fire to the abortion rights dispute in the state.
At issue tonight, reproductive rights, what approval will mean for the state. Catherine Stevens has more.
More than 12,600 women in Oregon had abortions in 1992, according to state health department statistics. Those were surgical procedures, but now there's RU-486. Oregon's groups in favor of abortion drug testing say it will give women more control in the choice to have an abortion.
A surgical abortion's invasive, and you're really at the behest of your physician, where when you take a pill, it's you taking it, you taking responsibility, you taking care of yourself.
Oregon Right to Life is
Becky
the largest
Moore with Oregon Right to Life says in addition to being against abortion, the group believes the drug itself is questionable.
Well, we're very concerned about the women of the country and the women of Oregon who are going to be used as guinea pigs with this very powerful drug.
Moore says the state's leaders have done Oregonians a disservice by allowing the drug in and even encouraging testing.
Ron Wyden has been very closely allied with the pro-abortion lobby for many years, and this is their latest bandwagon. They want very
Right to Life stand is that making RU-486 available will lead to more abortions and trivialize the procedure. Pro-choice advocates say that probably won't be the case.
Easier. I think what it's going to do is depoliticize it, and I think that's what they're going to be worried about. Not that it's going to become easier for women, but that it's going to become not the issue of the decade anymore.
Testing is slated to begin across the state within the next few months. In Eugene, Catherine Stevens reporting for Newswatch.
Government documents released yesterday reveal that human volunteers were used in radiation experiments in the 1960s and 70s. 3 volunteers from England inhaled chromium-1 in 1972 and then were examined by labs around the world. The 3 were then used to calibrate equipment that detects radiation in humans. Well, the declassification of stacks of documents on the Hanford nuclear reservation is revealing some alarming information.
Records show that a half-ton of bomb-making plutonium is missing from Hanford. Glenn Farley has more.
Since World War II, the Hanford nuclear reservation has made plutonium for nuclear bombs. Made and tracked the plutonium in secret. Secret until recently. That's when Energy Secretary Hazel O'Leary announced that her agency was going to declassify stacks of documents.
There's some 33 or 2 Washington monuments high of information simply within the purview of the Department of Energy.
Some of those documents were analyzed by the Natural Resources Defense Council, and the nuclear experts there say Hanford created 1.5 tons more bomb-making plutonium than the government can account for.
It would be like discovering that at Fort Knox they never counted the gold bars.
Senior scientist Thomas Cochran says the government balanced its nuclear books.
People should be outraged that they hadn't done this in the last 40 years.
The government agrees there are some discrepancies, but attributes those discrepancies to accounting errors rather than the theft or diversion of the plutonium. The Department of Energy says of more than 65 tons of plutonium produced, it's conceivable that some of the material may be stuck to the insides of pipes or stored in waste tanks and can't be precisely measured. Besides, the department says during the early decades of the Cold War, accounting for plutonium was based on estimates. Glenn Farley for NBC News.
Closing arguments continue in the murder by abuse trial of Gary Todd Stevens. Stevens is accused in the beating death 2 years ago of his former girlfriend's 18-month-old daughter, Sarah Rambeck. Gwen Copeland has the story.
Prosecutor Joseph Kosidar spent nearly 4 hours recapping for the jury the state's case against Stevens. He reminded them that Stevens was alone with Sarah in the evening before she was found dead, and he described in graphic detail the testimony of a neighbor who says he heard loud banging and crying that he will never forget about an hour before Sarah's mother, Lisa Rambeck, came home at 10 o'clock. Kosidar also reiterated the compelling testimony of David Rambeck, Sarah's older brother, who told the jury that Stevens and Sarah were alone in the living room when he also heard a loud bang, followed by Sarah's cries of pain. The state cited testimony that Sarah was afraid of Stevens as evidence that he had previously abused her. That testimony, along with medical evidence, is essential to a murder by abuse conviction. That verdict can only be reached if the state can prove that Stevens engaged in a pattern or practice of abuse against Sarah. The defense used its closing arguments as its last chance to cast doubt on the state's case. Attorney John Halpern says banging heard by a downstairs neighbor was just Stevens zealously watching a Portland Trailblazers game. Halpern also reminded the jury of testimony by another neighbor who says he heard shouting and crying from the Rambeck apartment after 10 o'clock. That fact is crucial to the defense, which claims it was Rambeck, not Stevens, who killed Sarah, although throughout the investigation, Stevens never implicated his former girlfriend. The jury is expected to begin deliberations tomorrow. If convicted, Stevens could face life in prison. This is Gwen Copeland reporting for Newswatch.
We got a call tonight from a very nice lady who said about, as you told us the moon was going to be, said it looked like somebody took a bite out of the moon, and that pretty well sums it up.
Yeah, we had a little bit of an eclipse going on right as the moon came up, and I have to apologize to a young lady who called last night. I told her the wrong time. The chart that I was looking at for the sunrise and sunset was standard time. So instead of 7:45, it was 8:45 tonight. But we have a little bit of video of what the moon looked like when it came up this evening. Can we take a look at that? We were sort of catching the end of the eclipse as it came up over the horizon, but as you can see there, part of it was missing because tonight is a full moon. And we'll take a look at weather coming up the rest of this week when we come back.
Some fear the passage of time. Others welcome it because it will reveal their strengths. Now, J.D. Power & Associates reveals that the best overall car line in vehicle dependability at 5 years of ownership no longer comes from Germany or Japan. The leader is Cadillac, creating a higher standard as time goes by.
You know, I'm an old-fashioned guy. I believe in giving people more for their money. So not only is everything on Wendy's Super Value menu 99 cents each, but on our Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, you get 2 full strips of bacon. Our Biggie Fries are big, like our baked potato. Plus, Wendy's Hamburger Kids Meal with a toy is just $1.99. At Wendy's, you don't pay more, you just get more. Every day. And that's the truth.
The 9 for $9.99 Super Value menu and $1.99 Hamburger Kids Meal at Wendy's.
Color can set a tone, capture a mood, create a personality for any room. That's why Glidden Paint from Fred Meyer offers you a master palette of over 6,000 colors in all. Imagine how color can improve the look of any room. Ask about the Glidden Master Palette and find all the brushes, rollers, everything else you need to finish the job. Build it, fix it, paint it. You'll find it at Fred Meyer.
Newswatch is sponsored by Subway, the place where fresh is the taste.
Well, we do have some clouds to talk about tonight, unlike what we've had the last few days. Eastern Oregon and eastern Washington, not so. A few high clouds in some of the western sections, but the fog and low cloudiness is blanking most of the coast. Now, the only place actually reporting fog, meaning visibilities have been restricted, has been in and around Newport, but that low overcast is covering most of the coastal airports at this time. And the temperatures probably are not going to move much the rest of the night because of that. Interior valleys, we're pretty close to where we were last night at this time. The temperatures are pretty warm because we were pretty hot today. Let's take a look at the flow pattern. I've been talking about this trough out here slowly eating away the ridge of high pressure. The first little impulse going by tomorrow will knock a big chunk out of this ridge and sort of move it to the east. Another one will come by during the day on Thursday and then swing by on Friday. That one is going to be picking up some subtropical moisture that's down here just coming up from Hawaii. And so I'm going to put some showers in the forecast for that second one that arrives sometime late Thursday night into Friday. This first one is just going to give us some clouds. Let's look at it on a satellite view. This is where we were last night, not near as many clouds, and this is the front offshore that slowly worked its way in our direction during the day today, and it should move inland during the day tomorrow. Now, as this tail end of the system moves inland, I think we'll see some clouds out of it, but most of the clouds will be this low-level moisture along the south that's underneath this high stuff that we see on a satellite picture here. This is the subtropical moisture that I was talking about. It's getting pulled up, and the front that will be developing right in through here will catch that. And so with this extra moisture in the next one, the chances are going to be much better that we'll get some showers. This one here, I think, will be a lot of clouds and cooler temperatures because of that, but not much chance of any moisture. Another one similar to this will happen as we get into Sunday over the weekend. So Friday and Sunday are my guesses right now that we'll get rain out of this system, or out of this pattern, I should say. As far as the amount of temperature drop, it'll slowly work its way back down to normal. This is what we were today. High temperatures, almost everybody was above 80. Again, Crestwell Cottage Grove area were under 80 degrees, but they were a little warmer than yesterday. How about this? Odell Lake, 80 degrees. They will not see as much cooling as the valleys. Coast, definitely going to see the cooling tomorrow. Fog along the coast, a few high clouds over the interior sections. Again, near 50 interior, and I think low 50s for the coast. Their temperatures aren't going to change much more now. National Weather Service finally dropped that small craft advisory, and they're saying northwesterly winds tomorrow about 10 to 20 knots. And as that front moves by, that northerly wind should ease up considerably over the next couple of days. Here we go. Morning clouds, and then in the afternoon we might see some breaks. We'll call it partly cloudy. Coast may not see a lot of sunshine tomorrow, but there again they might see a few breaks in the clouds, but the temperature's cooling down. 60 to 65. I'm going to broaden it out and go low to mid-70s interior, depending on how many breaks you get in your clouds tomorrow afternoon. Extended outlook now. Thursday, again, a mostly cloudy day, maybe a few sun breaks, but Friday I'm going to go for some showers. Saturday, again, mostly cloudy, with more showers on Sunday for those of you looking into the three-day weekend. Coastal area also, the fog's going to be there right on through Saturday, but the best chance of showers will be on Friday, although they might see a little drizzle out of that low cloudiness nights and mornings in the meantime.
Thank you, Joseph.
Well, Brian joins us now. We've got NBA playoff action.
And I'm in a carbon copy of last night's Western Conference opener. The Knicks and Pacers get things underway at the Garden tonight. We'll have the highlights for you, and we'll tell you who the NBA's MVP is. Sports Watch is next.
Where's everybody? Simple. People are bored with chicken. That's why Subway has our original turkey breast sub. It's oven-roasted turkey on fresh baked bread with all the trimmings. So if you're tired of the same old chicken, Subway's talking turkey.
The original 6-inch turkey breast sub, now just $1.99 at Subway.
This is the best part.
The Northwest best selection of new cars and trucks at the lowest bottom line prices. New Chevy S10 pickup, $79.95. Only one place. Nobody has a better selection of new S10s. No way! New 94 Chevy S10s, bottom line priced at just $79.95 or $139 a month.
Where?
$79.95 or $139 a month. But only at the Northwest #1 Romania Chevrolet Geo 2020 Franklin Boulevard.
Tommy's Paint Pot in Eugene has all you need to get your summer project started. And right now, during the Memorial Day sale at Tommy's, you'll find just what you need at tremendous savings. Save $5 per gallon on Benjamin Moore Moorguard long-lasting, low-luster latex house paint. Save $6 per gallon on Moore Glow soft gloss latex house and trim paint. Tommy's also has pressure washers and airless paint sprayers for rent. Get your summer project started right and save during the Memorial Day sale at both locations of Tommy's Paint Pot, where we really know our paint.
Oh, look at the cake.
When celebrations call for your famous twice-baked potatoes, crispy fried chicken, and creamy root beer floats, you should never have to worry about your time or your budget. And that's okay, because we give you lower prices on your family's favorites every day. So instead of spending time chasing specials, you can spend your time on the important things. Great food at lower prices every day. You'll find it at Fred Meyer.
Jenny brings life to talk.
I think your daughter would kill someone.
And talk to life. Jenny Jones.
Weekday mornings at 10 on KMTR.
The NBA's Eastern Conference Final took center stage tonight with Game 1, and much like last night's Western Conference opener, it was the home team grabbing the big lead and then having to hold on for dear life. The Knicks had a great first half. Inside to Patrick Ewing they go. He muscles his way inside for the jam. New York up 17. Pacers would scratch and claw their way back in the second half. Rick Smits, who shows he can hold his own against Ewing, gets 2 of his 27. Pacers get within 2, but then the Knicks defense takes over. Greg Anthony steals it from Smits, goes all the way the other way for the easy 2, and the Knicks were on their way, led by Ewing, who would finish with 28 points, 11 boards, and 6 block shots. New York grabs Game 1 by 11, 189. The final Game 2 set for Thursday at Madison Square Garden. The Houston Rockets hold a 1-0 series lead over Utah in the West. Game 2 tomorrow night. The Rockets' Keem Olajuwon was named the NBA's most valuable player today, collecting 66 first-place votes compared to David Robinson's 24. Scottie Pippen finished 3rd in the balloting. Keem's 27 points and 12 rebounds led Houston to its best regular season ever at 58 and 24. Keem was also named the league's Defensive Player of the Year. Well, just 2 weeks after retiring from the Detroit Pistons, Isaiah Thomas has been named the expansion Toronto Raptors Vice President in charge of basketball operations. Terms of his contract were not revealed, but some reports suggest Thomas might acquire 10% ownership of the new club. The Blazers' new arena has a name. It'll be officially known as the Rose Garden. The Blazers open play in the Rose Garden in the fall of 1995. Stanley Cup playoffs tonight. Vancouver and Toronto. 14 seconds into the second overtime. Greg Adams with the putback goal for the Canucks. Vancouver comes back from being down 3-0 to win the series 4-1 to advance into the Stanley Cup final against the winner of the Rangers-Devils series. Siuslaw has defended its 3A, 2A, 1A high school boys golf title. Sunset has won the 4A boys title. Baseball tonight, the Dodgers trying to slow down the red-hot Cubs. Sammy Sosa at the plate facing Oral Hershiser, and Sammy rips one to the wall in left center. Ryan Sandberg scores, and Sosa winds up with a double. 2-0 Cubs. That's all Chicago would need, because Willie Banks goes the distance, tossing a 4-hitter for his first career shutout. The Cubs win their 8th straight, shutting out the Dodgers 2-0. The rest of the National League, it's Montreal swimming by the fish 11-1. The Mets come from behind to beat the Pirates 4-2. The Giants have now lost 6 straight. San Diego over the Giants tonight 6-3. Doug Drabeck with a 3-hit shutout of Atlanta. It's Philadelphia blanking St. Louis, and Colorado downs Cincinnati 11-7. Bernie Brewer enjoying himself tonight in Milwaukee as the Brewers hosted the Orioles. And Cal Ripken Jr. was certainly enjoying himself. He belts his 300th career home run, a 3-run shot in the 3rd, and then he follows it up in the 4th with a bases-loaded rip down the 3rd base line. That would clean the bases off. Baltimore hands Milwaukee a club record 13th straight loss. 13-5 turns out to be the final numbers in that one. The rest of the American League numbers: Cleveland over Boston 5-3. It's the Yankees 6-1 over Toronto behind a Terry Mulholland 5-hitter. It's California winning at Detroit. The White Sox down the Twins 5-3. Texas blanks Kansas City, and Oakland gets by Seattle 10-1. Ken Griffey Jr. fails to homer tonight. First time in a long time. That'll do it for now.
Thanks, Brian.
Well, coming up next, a plea for your help to save a program that helps the hungry. Stay with us.
This is a test. No talking, please. You're hungry. You choose beef, chicken, shrimp. All of the above. Do not answer until you've heard the ding.
Caro's presents Trios. Start with tender sliced sirloin. Then add any two of the following: teriyaki chicken, honey mustard chicken, fried shrimp, mini shrimp. Create any combination you like for only $7.99 at Caro's. Now, question 2.
So, honey, what should we do over Memorial Day weekend?
Well, let's just stay home. Spend it together.
I like that.
Yeah, we could build a deck, paint the house, tile the kitchen, plant some trees, wallpaper the den.
Come to Home Base this weekend. Find the Flexmaster 5-ply garden hose, the last garden hose you'll ever need. And enter to win the $5,000 summer shopping spree sweepstakes.
Then on Sunday we'll stain the back fence, re-brick the patio, install outdoor lighting, put up shelves, yes!
Chrysler Plymouth dealers are breaking records for selling minivans. So now what? The Chrysler Plymouth Minivan Summer Vacation Celebration. Now, even the lowest priced Plymouth Voyager gives you air and automatic at no extra charge. That's cash back and option discounts up to $1,063 and up to $1,000 in option package values. Check out Plymouth Grand Voyager and Chrysler Town & Country. A new minivan and money for your vacation? Summer madness.
See your local Northwest Chrysler Plymouth dealer. This portion of News Watch is sponsored by your Northwest Ford dealers.
One of the world's largest book distributors, Ingram Book Company, broke ground on a new warehouse today in Roseburg. The facility will employ about 250 people, most of them local, by the time it's operating at full capacity next summer. The Tennessee-based company supplies retail bookstores like B. Dalton, Walden Books, and Crown.
Food for Lane County program is in desperate need of volunteers. The Food Rescue Express is a perishable food recovery program. Nightly volunteers pick up unserved food from more than 30 area restaurants. The food is then packaged and distributed by Food of Lane County the following day to more than 30 agencies. The volunteers are critical to the program's continued success.
If we didn't have the volunteers, we couldn't package the food. It is absolutely a person-to-person helping program, and without the kind of volunteers that we need on an ongoing basis, we just can't get the work done. Then we go back to having food wasted while people are hungry, and that's just a scenario that's unacceptable.
The program needs 10 to 12 volunteers nightly, and if you would like to help, please contact Food for Lane County.
And speaking of food, coming up next, it is time for Oregon strawberries to head to the market. We'll see what kind of crop consumers will find when Newswatch continues.
All 4x4s claim they look good in the great outdoors. But only the Ford Explorer can measure up in the great indoors. It gives you the most interior room in its class, with a split fold-down seat and a spare tire stored up under the body so it's out of your way. When it comes to space and value, you can see why Explorer is America's #1 selling 4x4. See it today at your local Northwest Ford dealer.
Clothing with a Northwest point of view. You'll find it at Fred Meyer.
The cleanliness and friendliness of Shiloh Inns. As the largest independent and privately owned hospitality company in the western United States, Shiloh doesn't have to pay costly franchise fees, so we can pass the savings on to you, our guests, with better service, better rooms and suites, and better rates. Come experience Shiloh's affordable excellence whenever you travel for business or pleasure across America's western states. Shiloh Inns, affordable excellence.
After midnight, we're gonna let it all hang out.
Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft.
After midnight, we're gonna chill.
The cold one. For those who've discovered its smooth draft taste, the world is a very cool place.
We're gonna call talking.
So get out of the old and get into the cold.
Finally, tonight, the weather's been sunny and warm, and that is perfect for local strawberry companies.
Well, Walden Kirsch reports growing conditions are a lot better than last spring, and strawberry lovers will be able to taste the difference.
It is only May right now, but already we're talking strawberries.
They're good. They're nice and sweet.
Behind Emma Johnson, there's not a cloud in the sky, which is one reason the 1994 Northwest strawberry crop is looking so good. Some berry fields are open already to you pickers who are rustling around fully a week earlier than last spring. Remember last spring?
Yes, cold and wet.
In other words, bad for berries. This spring, though, the sun has been shining a lot. They've even had to irrigate some strawberry fields. That's unusual. Plus, it's been warm and it hasn't rained much.
And gives us a lot of opportunity to be in the fields and get things ready.
Now this one was excellent.
The real strawberry avalanche won't begin for another week or two. But the first fruit coming out of the field suggests that 1994 could be one of the best for strawberries in years.
Ooh, my mouth is already watering.
They look good, didn't it? That's a look at news, sports, and weather for now.
We'll see you tomorrow night.
Good night.